Hey guys, today I'm going to do a video on wood boilers. As you can see, I got lots of wood around, and one of the things that we'll talk about heating is that pool. We're also going to discuss how to heat that house and how to heat that greenhouse. This is my wool boiler. It's a classic central boiler. The welds failed on that, so had to replace that. It also functions differently than the boiler I'm going to be showing you in a minute. There's a solenoid switch that opens and closes that vent there. So when your unit is calling for heat, that solenoid valve will simply just open the vent behind that grate. I've always used glycol so they don't freeze up in the winter. One of the problems with this was getting the ash out. You gotta get your face in there with a shovel, and it's not the funnest thing to do. The other boiler I use now is called a Heatmaster. Just walk over to that one. I like the Heatmaster for a couple of reasons. One, the box is pretty big. Two, it's really easy to see your level all the time there on that gauge. It's just a float. And number three, super easy ash removal here with the ash. So you can just take her out, dump it, use it for fertilizer or chicken dusting. Also a pretty big door, double burn system. I can throw 5-footers in there pretty easy. Right now, it's not calling for heat, so it's just kind of smoldering when I open the door. It'll show you what your temperature is right there, and you can set that. You can set your high heat, and then you can set your differential. So whether you want it to wait for 10 degrees to kick on or 15 degrees Celsius, whatever you want. Depends on the kind of the time of the year what I select for that, because you may want a hotter burn, so you let it stay out for longer to get rid of creosote. The other thing I like about this is you've got 2 pumps. This greenhouse I have servicing the house. The red pump I have servicing the pool and the greenhouse. Another thing I like about this boiler is it has the 2 fans, as you can see, and so you don't have to worry about your fire going out ever, because on a warmer day there's a possibility of that, and it did happen to me with that old classic boiler I had. This unit will also burn coal. I haven't tried that yet. Maybe one day I will, but I have lots of wood out here. Oh, by the way, the glycol in this unit is transferred to the house or whatever you're taking it to with just an in and out line. Super simple. I keep mine filled with glycol in case I went away in the winter or something and it wasn't running. And I'm just going to take you over now to the greenhouse. So here we are in the greenhouse. You've just got an in-floor slab here. There's different ways you could do this. You could even put in a hanging heat exchanger with a fan behind it, just like a hanging radiator. But basically here, we've got this insulated pipe that comes under the ground from the boiler. And we have an in and an out line, of course, very simple. And then we have our lines that go into the floor. I've got a small pump here that'll click on when the heat goes to anything that's below 10. And right now, you can see it is 80 degrees Celsius, or about 170 or so Fahrenheit. And then you can see I have a mixing valve here to make sure it doesn't run wild and get too hot on the floor. And you can see we're going into the floor at about 90 degrees Fahrenheit and 30 degrees Celsius. Now this line here goes down to the pool, and there's also a pump down at the pool to help circulate that from down there as well. I'm going to go down to the pool area now. So here's the pool area, and the red line is coming from that feed I showed you earlier at the greenhouse. And it also has a small pump on it as well. Here's the heat exchanger. It's a very, very simple system. And that's stainless steel, so it doesn't get corroded from the chlorine in the pool at all. Okay, so now we're in the house, and this feeds 2 radiators, those old English style radiators. It also heats through a heat exchanger, my forced air. So basically that's just hot air that a fan blows through all the time. This is a closed loop system. So remember up top at the back of the boiler you had a green pump and a red pump. Well, this system feeds, the green pump feeds this system right here, and it comes into this heat exchanger right here. Some people call it heat plate. And basically it just transfers the heat from that hot glycol into the next system. As you can see right now, it's kicking pretty good. This is 60 degrees Celsius. So yeah, it's really hot, functioning properly. Each one of these I've just got a zone valve on, so when it calls for heat, the zone valve opens and it just circulates. As well, we have another Grundfos pump here. These 2 lines I run back to my other boiler that's a gas boiler, and I can heat the gas boiler glycol before it goes into the unit. I can preheat it, so that thing just idles unless it gets to colder than -20, and then we kind of go off both systems. The outdoor boiler that I showed you, the one I like that I'm currently using now, just an FYI, it can heat 500,000 BTUs. So now I'm going to go over to our other utility room, and I want to show you where these 2 lines goes and how they operate simultaneously. And I've also put a switch here, and this is in the down position for winter or outdoor boiler. If I flip it up, that'll just make this a new zone for the natural gas boiler, and that will take over all of the zones in this part of the house as well. And all it does again is cycle hot glycol in and out that follows the loop around. So I'm going to go to my other utility room now. Okay, we're going to go into this other utility room here. It's messy like all my spaces are. Anyway, you can see here that the supply and the return temperatures on this boiler. This is a gas boiler. It's 260,000 BTUs, super efficient, and it won't run if the other outdoor boiler is running and it's not too cold outside. This as well has another forced air with a heat exchanger as well, which is these 2 lines. These 2 lines up here are what come from the other system in the other utility room I was showing you. Also have to have a little pump on them. But basically it's just circulating to that other room and back here. So it's either going to drop off or pick up heat as needed. And there's the in-floor heating, which it will also heat all that. And then of course we have our water heating. So I hope you like this video, and if you have any questions, just let me know and we'll go from there. Thanks.